Guys, help me out with some math. I'm missing something here. And this happens. This happens to everybody, including me. We get so close to the trees, we can't see the forest. It's very hard to step back, right? I live in MMA so much, and I'm passionate about it. I love it. But I miss things because of that. It screws me at times. Where am I wrong? Jorge Masvidal is working day and night to get the Leon fight. Okay. I would understand why. He's the champion. You guys have a history. You have business. Gilbert Burns doesn't care about any shiny trinkets. He just wants into the octagon to perform in front of you guys. Okay. Okay, everything sounds as it is. Belal Muhammad is the fastest rising star in the sport. You got three guys that you didn't know 2 years ago that can sell out arenas right now. You got Belal, you got Sean Strickland, and you got Tuivasa. All in different weight classes. I mean, this is massive. It is massive what Belal has done for himself just to stay on him because I'm on this weight class. He has agreed to take on Sean Brady, who's a straight up badass, but you guys don't know him. Belal is doing a huge favor right now. He had one done for him. He got to stand opposite Leon in a main event. All of a sudden, all of his hard work, boom, everybody, he's in high demand. And you always have to pay that favor back. Generally, it's later. Belal's going to do it a little sooner than he wanted to. I'm just sharing for you. Everything here is as it seems. Dana White has come out. He used a phrase, as soon as possible, on looking at and booking a venue to redo Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards. Everything seems to be going right. Colby is coming back. We're in discussions now. Where is he going to fit in? Who's left? What possible opponents are even there? Tony Ferguson has changed weight classes as well as gyms and is going to take on a guy named Lishi. I don't know, and I'm not looking to be a condescending prick, I don't know if Leech is his nickname because he clings on to you or if his name is Leech. I don't know. Okay, let's rework things. Everybody is trying to get to the championship. There's new opportunity because there's a new champion. Everybody is trying to finagle. Everybody is trying to get there. Jorge Masvidal has a title. It matters. I'm not the only one that loved that night. He filled up Madison Square Garden. The Rock showed up. The President of the United States showed up. Jorge Masvidal has a title. I don't see anybody trying to get it, challenge for it, and take it, and I don't see George offering it. I will do this, and I will put this up. Is there something there that I'm missing? Maybe there's some fine print. I'm just bringing that to you. Now, as everybody positions and makes their move, okay? And it's important that you do understand that George has a title. It really is important, at least for me to make my point. No matter where you stand on that, it's important that you do recognize the BMF was established and is currently held. It's very important because just as real is Red Panty Night. The Golden Goose is still McGregor. And when I'm watching all of these 70-pounders putting all their focus in all of these different directions, and some of them look thirsty and some of them look like fools, and quite frankly, even the ones that are thirsty fools are doing it right. You're not going to get anything that you don't ask for. If you have not been told and you have not been laughed at, you have not taken step one. They told Elon Musk no, and they laughed at him. He's now got a car on its way to Mars. Step one, truly. And so many people are afraid of that rejection that they don't take that very first step. But I'm just bringing this to you because you really are taking your eye off the ball. And when I look at Jorge Masvidal versus Conor McGregor, I look at the most obvious fight, and I look at the biggest fight that our sport could produce. It's a fight that we don't even talk about because it's a dream fight that seems so incredible that we're not even going to get it. Truly, it does. Records would not matter. Rankings would not matter. Conor will get in there with George, and George will get in there with Conor. Neither one of them's talking about the other. Oh, and by the way, if Conor's going to show up and you can sweeten the pot by putting up a BMF, of which Conor is a BMF, right? Not everybody gets to go in that category. He does, and he's the Golden Goose, and he's the ticket, and he's the one that I think Masvidal specifically should be going for. But even if you want to remove Masvidal, that's still the topic. And your greatest opportunity to get something is just when other people don't want it. I was class president in 5th grade. I gave a great speech, Miss Juris's homeroom. Now, the class president is supposed to go to the most organized and the one that people that trust, right? There's a lot of compliments and things that are put on it. The reality is 2 other classmates ran. So I got recognized as, like being the top of this class of 30. But the truth was I didn't have to beat all 30. I just had to beat the other 2 that stood up. Just to give you a great example. We have lived in a sport for a decade where Red Panty Night has been real. It's not just a catchphrase. It's not just a phrase that I stole and put on a t-shirt and got threatened to be sued by Conor McGregor. Like, it's an actual thing. It's a celebration. It is still the prize. And everybody, because of the kick heard around the world, is focused in a different direction. And I think that they're missing it. I think that they're missing the big opportunity. And I'll tell you, one guy that's played out, one guy that's been relatively quiet right now is Conor McGregor. And you got to study that. Why? Conor McGregor is never quiet. Conor McGregor is guaranteed to speak up on pay-per-view day. He generally takes all the attention off of whoever earned the attention. I was at ESPN one day and I had to answer a question about Conor McGregor on the desk in front of the world. And I called the host out who called me on it and said, we shouldn't have that question. He doesn't belong here. He not only didn't fight tonight, he didn't even have the decency to show up and lend his support. He stayed home in Ireland and sent out a tweet, and now we're killing airtime on ESPN. I was right. I was completely right. And we did it anyway. And they did it the next week when I wasn't there, and they did it the following week when I wasn't there, and they did it the week after that when I was there. But Conor has chosen to stay relatively quiet. In fact, when he weighed in on a very off-subject topic, which was just bringing your kids to the events. Conor had brought little Conor to an event. As a matter of fact, it was his first time back. It was Poirier Part 2, what a lot of you think is Poirier Part 1. Poirier stopped him. And it was a distraction. It was just one of these things where he was having to be father and he had to get into fight mode. And he just shared that with Kamaru. Kamaru's daughter had to really be consoled and carried out of the arena, we're told, which is just heartbreaking, but it's a real thing. It was meant to be a celebratory moment. She'd seen her papa fight before, and she got in the octagon. These are some real family memories. I can share with that. I can share some stories of bringing my own son. I wanted him to be proud of me and see old papa. And if it goes the other way, it can be a tough situation. But this is what Conor chose to weigh in on. That's all I bring you. Conor chose to not steal this moment. Conor has stolen the moment from everybody for years. And he chose not to hear. Why? Because when I'm not around, you're dealing with the smartest guy in the room. When I'm not calling the shots on how to manipulate marketing and get a reaction from the media, Conor's in charge. Why did he sit this one out? Why? Why did he decide tonight, the night, that every welterweight is going in a specific direction? I don't want to be thought of. I don't want to be heard. I don't want to be remembered. I don't want to insert myself. Why? He wasn't busy. He was available. He watched the fight. He had access to the internet. We know that because he did say things such as what I just told you about the kids. He didn't insert himself. He didn't call anybody out. He didn't look for a fight. He didn't look for an opponent. He didn't do anything to rile anybody up and make them come after him. Why? Why? What is the master up to? What was he thinking? What does he know that we don't? Why is he making everybody run in one direction while he stands still? If you aren't asking yourself those questions, you're doing yourself a disservice. And you're not observing the politics and the inner workings of this industry.